The foundation of our language and our culture is the foundation of who we are. It's our ilit kosak. It's our spirit, our soul. It's our whole being.
We know that our language is in the Word of God too, and in our songs that we sing today. May you use them to help our youth learn the language.
Ikayak tigig siluta ami iniiradlo, utok kanadlo. Bilingual teachers lo. Sa baklat na lagot. Adiga, teku. My name is Mary Schaeffer, Maqik, and I'm the chairman of the Inupiaq Language Commission. I have been the chairman since the inception in 2005.
Thank you, Maqik Mary J. Schaeffer, for all the hard work you've done, not just for this 2012, 13, and 2015, but since the 70s.
In 1976, we had our very first regional elders conference, and we had quite a few elders from all of our 10 or 11 villages that participated in the conference.
Today, I'm asking of you to make sure to give this woman thanks for all of her hard work, her passion, unending support to make sure that our Inupiaq language and culture is carried on. So thank you, Mary.
There was no leadership to keep it going, I guess, so we decided to start holding elders conferences. It was in 2011 and then 2012, and so that's how this conference came about.
Ubana atika aralan. Mga atika nanok. Ubana atika pagkada. Ubana atika kane.
If they little ones can learn, you older kids can learn too.
Yeah, you can't let those little kids show you up.
The youth are inspired to learn about Inupiaq lifestyle and language. Really coming here has done a lot of that, and seeing that how engaged the youth have been in wanting to learn our language and our lifestyle.
Yes. We're extremely proud of our youth and how much energy you brought to the conference and your willingness to learn from our elders. That's how we learn is we listen to our elders and we gain new knowledge. We wanted to first honor our spelling bee participants and how hard they work. First place is Tanya Hall from Notak.
They also learn how to introduce themselves and their family and where they're from, and that's really cool. It makes you feel like you have more of a sense of self, you know, your identity is coming to surface.
Aqqaluk, Aqqaluk, Aqqaluk,
If the kids don't know their identity, they have problems. Lots of kids dropping out, kids losing interest in school. We had a high suicide rate at one point.
We need to forgive one another.
And it's because they don't know who they are. They're just mixed up. They got to know who their relatives were by working on their family tree, on the workshops that we did.
My name is Lance Kramer, and today we did an exercise on the family tree to be able to learn where you come from. And you have a foundation to know your heritage, you know. I told the students that it's important to know where you're from. That way you'll know where you're going. It's important to have that foundation. So I asked one of the students, what if you didn't know where you were in Kotzebue? And I asked directions to AC. I says, you wouldn't know how to get there if you don't know where you're at. And so it's the same thing with these kids. A lot of them may not know their family history, and that can explain a lot of things in their life. And so we had them do a 5-generation family tree. We just pick up a template online and print it out. And so you can go through their father's side here, and then their mother's side here, and it goes all the way to great-great-grandparents. They learned a lot. Some of the kids found out they were cousins. That's pretty helpful, especially if it's a girl and a boy, you know. Here, their families are so interrelated that you kind of really need to know if you're related to somebody or not.
We had to do the skits, and that was really cool, learning how to pronounce everything.
Ari, tunuka at nenakto. Ale, ari, unno, akabit mo nga. Tutut nami. Totok lang nga, kinik god minik. Apa? Olah yan, awak naman. Siktikan.
The youth step outside comfort zone and just do it. I'm still kind of stepping out of my comfort zone right now. I'm not really good in front of big crowds, so don't mind me if I get a little nervous.
Anak, knowledge is okay, bitch.
Nakikisok nga, mga kuni o bulani, nakikisok nga.
Anak.
Nakiyak mo.
Ki, alin. Unak tak.
Budak, yung nakayak po. Manikapit.
Kanga.
Nakikisurat na ito.
Ki, alin tak.
Nakikisurat na po. Anak lang. Arigato.
I really feel strong that we need to continue to hold these conferences because because we're losing our language. I speak it fluently, and there's a few others that speak it fluently. But even the younger generation that's learning how to speak it are not pronouncing the words right, and we still have to help them out, you know, in pronouncing them the right way. We learned from each other. The youth learned from us on how to speak the language and how to pronounce the words right.
We had a couple of Inupiaq speaking translators who were on the side of the room, and they were taking turns translating because it's mentally a labor-intensive job. And that was transmitting to these, which the non-Inupiaq speakers had. So they were able to listen to the simultaneous English translation taking place on the side of the room so that they were able to kind of follow along with what was being discussed.
And if you store them in a different container, then they spoil, and it can be fatal for people to eat. When it's on a frozen ground in a cool place, it is safe to eat.
None of the youth who are attending today speak Inupiaq fluently or understand it that well, so it's kind of a no-brainer to allow them to be able to follow along while also allowing the Inupiaq speakers to present and share in their first language. So.
Iñupiaq kaya niya ko da. So uning
Abura kasungat nagu Iñupiaq tut. Kavani kuvang me.
You know, there's a lot of Inupiaq talking, and with the translator, that was neat that we could just listen to them in Inupiaq and listen to it in English in one ear. Like, kind of get a broader knowledge of Inupiaq and what they mean, what the words mean.
We've interacted more with the elders and learning about our language. It's really fun. All the elders are with us and they're just like teaching us how to speak our language, which is like never really taught to me before. What has been meaningful to me is that they provide all these workshops for us to learn how to do things that they had to do back in the day to, you know, occupy their time and to learn how to survive and whatnot.
Yeah, that natara Inupiaq tanik pira taktu. Marimunuva uyok si ama.
We're fixing a net so we could teach the kids how to mend nets. They're finding a hole like this and they're making it look like this. You come through here, that way it won't slide this way or slide this way. Yeah.
The water is to keep it flexible, because otherwise if it gets too dry, it's gonna break when we try to sew it together.
You know what yours or good.
Ang iroluit, ang usalut, kira uminyay kidin kirak na tinimni. They're just good for allirak.
This is the bottom, the hard bottom Aqqaluk. I almost used mine today, but a lot of people don't make these nowadays, and it's really hard to come across people that know how. And I've been wanting to know, because I just started sewing last summer, and I wanted to make a pair of Aqqaluks, but I didn't know how to make the hard bottoms. So once I heard that shoe is coming, I jumped on the opportunity.
And I think the elders learned, we elders learned from them, because even some of the elders said they didn't know how to pronounce the syllables of the Inupiaq words. So some of them learned how to pronounce the syllables, the achahas, you know. So it was a really, really good conference. I think the kids really appreciate the conference. And they want to have it held every year now. In fact, they're not wanting to stop right now. They just want to keep going.